Well, hello everybody. It's May 21st, the day after I went out and looked at this field before. Not quite 24 hours, but pretty close, probably close to 20 hours later. Sun's been out today. It quit raining, I think, last night about 7 o'clock, I think. So we're just gonna go back out. I guess if the wind noise is bad, I apologize again. I'll have to do a voiceover again. It seemed to work okay, but we'll see. I think the wind will be okay. It's not terrible windy today, but as you can see, it needs sprayed still. It obviously didn't spray itself yesterday. That'd be kind of handy, wouldn't it? But field looks a lot different once it quit raining last night. I'm in the exact same spot that I was yesterday when I looked at it with you guys, and you can see there is some pooled water down there, way over there and right in front of me here, but for the most part it's not too bad. That's a spot that has nowhere to go when it rains, so that's been a problem area for a while. And this little spot here in front of me, that won't take too long and it'll be gone. But you can see my little corn plants are coming up. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looking good. The ground's still very firm. I'm gonna dig a little bit, get my hands dirty, I suppose. You can see it's, you know, it doesn't really stick to my fingers too bad. It crumbles and falls apart underneath that trash. This is a soybean stubble field, so, but as you can see, that's how the dirt looks. Hopefully this shows up good on my, using my camera glasses today. Hopefully that shows up good. But I guess we're gonna go take a peek at that other field that I looked at yesterday and see what it looks like. So I guess we'll go check that out, and then we'll see what it compares like this one. But this one I'm real happy with. To be quite honest, I could probably spray this in a day or two, all except for where that water is at the end. But I bet if this field would have been worked, there'd be a lot more water in there than what there is right now. But I guess we'll pick this up at the other side. All right, here we are at the next field that I looked at yesterday. It does look quite a bit better than it did yesterday, but the one thing the time didn't fix was the erosion. There's still the erosion here on the end and down in the creek, which I'm sure you guys can't see, but there's definitely some washing that went on down there. You can see the water pooled right there in front of me, pretty good, and down in the rows. We're gonna go see what this field looks like. So if the wind's terrible, I'm sorry, we'll have to go to plan B, I guess. But that's what I'm trying to. These glasses, they seem to be a little bit better in the wind than what my phone camera is. But you can see the washing, which it isn't terrible bad, but it's not pretty. You can see my tracks from yesterday. I'm sure this corn's kind of buried, and this is still softer than crap out here. Holy buckets. And if you remember from the last field, I dug, stuck my hand down and dug, so I'm going to do that in here. And it's not too terrible. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. But I'm going to dig down. Right there, there's a hard pan. Right there, that's as deep as they worked it. You can see down there by that hard pan, it's just hard as a rock, and it's really sticky down there. Sticks to my fingers pretty good. Should have brought a screwdriver to dig in there. But yeah, I won't be able to dig through that with my fingers, but that's why this is so much softer than the other fields. Because that's where they worked it. Down to where they worked it, they created a hard pan layer right there. They must have worked it about 4 inches or so deep, and that hard pan layer doesn't let the water penetrate, and then it starts running on top. And this is sandy ground, so I know some people say in sandy ground they don't have the problem with hard pan, but it's there. You'll see it in the summer also. I had a neighbor of mine that I think he's addicted to disking, and we went out and looked at a field that we ended up chopping for silage because it drowned it out, or it dried up. And his field was dry from the top, like the top 6 inches was dry, and there's lots of roots and whatnot in there, and you actually got a spade out and dug past that 6-inch mark where that hard pan was, and we were able to find moisture. So his crop was burning up. And we ended up chopping it for silage, but there's moisture underneath the ground. It's just the roots couldn't get to it. The ground was too hard. But yeah, you can see there, not terrible erosion, but there's definitely erosion in that field. I'm sure down in the bottom it's really not pretty. But I'd say this field's still way wetter than the no-till field. It's a lot nicer looking at fields today when it's not pouring rain. Let's see. I don't know which one was it. I see most of the water's actually dried up even on this field here. Oh, there's a water hole still. That's awful wet yet. But anyhow, I guess I wish I could get to the other side of the field, but I just can't get that far. But there's a lot of water. Holy buckets. There's a lot of water there. That ain't even a creek and there's water there. Yeah, I don't know. That whole working the ground deal, I just don't like it. Had an interesting comment last night on my other video of the you can't no-till root crops. Well, you're probably right there. I'm not sure what the answer is there, because that's what you got to plant, or that's what you're gonna plant. You're gonna have to do something, but I just don't know. I don't know what to do. Seeing if I can get down to this other end where the erosion was bad. Actually, it looks like a lot of it's underwater. Yeah, it looks really muddy out there. I'm supposed to turn on my 4-wheel drive so I don't get my rear end stuck. Branch. Won't fit through here with my planter anymore. Tree being down. Ooh, there's a gate. I think I'll just pull down in here a little ways. Sounds soft, but anyhow, we're gonna walk out there and just see what it looks like. This video might get kind of long. I might have to edit some of it out, but as you can see, this is the oats that's no-tilled. Pretty wet down here in this bottom. They did, see, they worked all this ground here. They didn't work, but where I couldn't grow the oats because it was muddy, they went ahead and worked it. And as you can see. Ugh. Okay, here it's firm. I can actually walk on this. Take a step here, still firm. They've worked it right in front of me, and look at that. Mush. You can see it really washed the rows down where it was worked here. And I don't even want to walk out there. But you can see the water's just running down this creek here, taking all that dirt with it. This will be a while before we can get back into here. Now I truly feel, everybody, that if this was a no-till field, if they didn't work this bottom, we wouldn't have this water here, not near as much. It's still going to be running from down there because this is a creek, but that creek wouldn't be washed near as deep as what it was. This was flat here, so it took a good foot of dirt out of this bottom here. But I guess I'm gonna end this here for now. I'll probably put up a ending here. See if there's anything else I want to show you guys. All right, well, we'll see you on the next one. This will be the last field that I show you on this video. This is another no-till field. As you can see, it's got a few weeds in it. I actually do it by picking up a little ways, and I actually would drive it further, but I just don't want to end up leaving any tracks. Tracks are not good, but as you can see, there's no erosion in this field again. I couldn't get to the creek in this field. That's why I actually wanted to show you, but I couldn't get to it. As you can see, there's a pretty good slope here. I don't know how much it probably changes in elevation, but it's pretty good. Elevation change. No corn. Don't see any corn popping through on this field. This field is actually planted the same day as the first field that I showed you, so it should be right there somewhere. Hard to find seeds sometimes. Oh, there it is. It's about ready to. Coming up, boys and girls, coming up. Just must be a few hours behind. By tomorrow, there's stuff popping up pretty good in this field. But I'm gonna walk up to the top of this hill. And yeah, this field here, I mean, it's firm also. And this is on the right next to that work ground that I showed you here just a little while ago. But yeah, I guess it's kind of what I wanted to show you. You know, there's not any erosion. That's the main thing I'm going for right now. I guess later, now we've been saturated here, we'll have to go back and, well, there's a little bit of erosion on top here, but nothing serious, nothing too serious, thank goodness. But now we'll have to come back here later on, and we'll look at moisture retention now. Now we got all this rain. Who do you think, or which field do you think is going to have the water better? Well, I know I've got my money on what field. I guess you guys can all decide which one you guys want to put your money on, but I know there's a lot of people say that no-till just won't work in their area. And one thing I want to say about no-till, it's not a try it a year and give up, because there's that first year or two, they're kind of rough. I'm not even a joke. They're rough. You know, if a person really wants to get a no-till, they gotta have their heart in it. They gotta really think it's gonna work for them. Granted, you might do the first 2 years on one field and it might be perfect. Everything might work really well. The ground won't get hard or nothing. But you might try to do it on a different field, and for whatever reason that field will turn into concrete. It won't work, or you don't think it'll work, you know. But for the most part, you're gonna maybe suffer for a year or two, and then after that year or two's up, you're going to get, I'll just turn around out there. I think after that year or two's up, you're going to be glad you did what you did. You know, it's like I said, the first couple of years might be a little rough, but after that, you'll be glad you made that plunge into the no-till. By the way, I'm not leaving any tracks. I'm actually in two-wheel drive, so but you'll be glad of it. I guess that's kind of about all I got to say about this right now. Like I said, we'll come back later in the year and check the you know, the moisture retention, and we'll dig back down to that hardpan layer in that other field over there yonder. And that field is actually vertical tilled, so that one probably not as bad as some of them. I know there's some people out there that are plowing and disking everything pretty good, and that actually causes a worse hardpan layer than the vertical tillage does. Some of that ground has been no-tilled a couple years in a row now, and some of it has been no-tilled longer than that. On that second field with the strips, I guess we'll have to see how all that turns out. But I guess, everybody, that's kind of my what I'm going to show you today. Like I said, this video's probably gotten terribly long. Appreciate you guys watching. If you watch this long, I guess cheers to you. And I'm hoping I'm educating you people on a different way to farm. So, alright, well, we'll talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye.